In the last video, I tracked the circle alignment from the coast of Nova Scotia at Taylor Head Provincial Park, past the St. Pierre and Miquelon Islands, the last vestige of New France off the coast of the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador, across the Atlantic to where the alignment entered Spain and Galicia at the city of A Coruna. My name is Michelle Gibson. I am picking up the alignment at Lugo, a city in northwestern Spain that is still in Galicia and the capital of the province of Lugo. It has a population of approximately 100,000 people. Lugo is the only city in the world that is said to be surrounded by largely intact 3rd century Roman walls. They are 33 to 49 feet or 10 to 15 meters high. Just to be clear, I don't believe the Romans built these walls. They have just been given credit for the work of another highly advanced and unified global civilization. So, for example, we have the same basic twin tower design of the Cathedral of Santa Maria, seen above and behind the wall of Lugo on the left, in the Celtic province of Galicia, in a country that the Moors are given credit for having ruled for 700 years, ending in 1492, compared in the middle with the twin towers of Einsiedeln Abbey, a major resting place on the Way of St. James in Switzerland for centuries in a country the Spanish weren't said to be in, and on the right with the twin towers of the oldest operating Mormon temple in the United States, said to have been built in 1888, located in Manti, Utah, in a state that was said to have been built up by Brigham Young and his Mormon settlers. Einsiedeln Abbey, 20 miles or 32 kilometers southeast of Zurich, is also known for its Black Madonna, to which for more than 10 centuries pilgrims from all over the world have traveled here to pay homage. The Minho or Minho River is the longest river in Galicia at 40 miles or 64 kilometers long. The river forms the border between Galicia and Portugal. Its source is the Pedregal de Iramia and looks like this. And these wind turbines at the Pedregal de Iramia are another example of finding these along the planetary alignments, causing me to seriously question the idea that turbines like these are wind-powered, and instead are powered by some ancient energy source related to the planetary grid system. Lugo is along the path of the Camino Primitiva, or the primitive way of the Camino de Santiago. It is thought of as the original way because it was the path of the first reported pilgrim, Alfonso II of Asturias, in 814 AD. What is called the Roman Bridge over the Minho River in Lugo is part of the Camino Primitiva. Asturias is the province next to Galicia in northwest Spain, along the Bay of Biscay. Biscay is an old reference to Basques. Here are some masonry features of what looks like a narrow canal at the Parque de Minho in Lugo in the foreground, and the smooth shape of what looks like a mound in the background. And also at the Parque de Minho is this canal, not only with its masonry banks, but also an engineered waterfall that looks like what you see at the Derwent River in the Derwent River Valley in Derbyshire in England, which is called the birthplace of the Industrial Revolution. Why does the same hydrology built into these so-called rivers exist in what we are taught are two entirely different countries? Here is a gazebo at the Parque Rosalia de Castro in Lugo, compared with this gazebo in Prescott, Arizona on the county courthouse grounds, this gazebo in the city of Dubbo in New South Wales, Australia, and what is called the Moorish kiosk in Hermosillo, Mexico. The Ancares Mountains of Galicia are shared between the provinces of Lugo and León, on the western side of the Cantabrian mountain range, which stretches over 180 miles or 300 kilometers across northern Spain, from the western limit of the Pyrenees along the coast of the Cantabrian Sea, which constitutes the southern part of the Bay of Biscay. Interesting to note the straight edges and angles seen on this rocky slope in the Ancares Mountains. Due to the inaccessibility of the scarce and dispersed population centers of the Galician Ancares, the most traditional features of Galician mountain culture are preserved here, with inhabitants living in direct contact with nature, farming, and gardening. This is a traditional dwelling in the Ancares. Nice view of the Milky Way there, too. Might be an ancient connection to all of the pilgrimage routes here. Here's a waterfall found in the Galician Ancares, and as I have indicated in previous videos, I find waterfalls all along these planetary alignments. The Picos de Europa National Park is in the Cantabrian Mountains, and also within the boundaries of Castile and Leon, which is the province to where we are headed on the alignment. It was created in 1918 as one of the first national parks in Spain. This is the Naranjo de Bulnes Peak in the Cantabrian Mountains on the top, compared with what you see at the Greenland National Park in northern Greenland on the bottom. On the left is the Caris Gorge Garganta in the Picos de Europa National Park, known as the Divine Gorge, and considered one of the world's best walks, treks, hikes, and climbs. On the right is the similar-looking Partnerklamm Gorge in the Bavarian Alps of southern Germany, near Garmisch-Partenkirchen. Both places have hiking trails that appear to be carved right out of the rock. This is another view of the Caris Gorge in Spain. Next on the alignment is the city of Valladolid, the de facto capital of the autonomous community of Castile and Leon. It is northwestern Spain's largest city. This is the Calderón Theater in Valladolid, home of the Valladolid International Film Festival, and named after Pedro Calderón de la Barca, said to be a highly regarded playwright, poet, and writer of the Spanish Golden Age. He lived between 1600 and 1681. Note the size of the building compared to the people in the street, and the detail of the columns and columned arches on the second floor. This is the interior of the Calderón Theater. The theater building was said to have been constructed in 1864 on the site of the palace of the Duke of Osuna, a Spanish noble title first awarded by King Philip II in 1562. This is the National Museum of Sculpture in Valladolid. The museum was said to be founded in 1842, in what was the Colegio de San Gregorio, said to have been built in 1487. This is a courtyard on the grounds of the museum, with its interesting spiral columns and ornate arched windows. They reminded me of spiraled columns of St. Peter's Basilica in Rome, called the Baldachin, which is a bronze canopy directly under the dome of the basilica and over the high altar, marking the tomb of St. Peter underneath. One of the exhibits in the National Museum of Sculpture in Valladolid is an altarpiece depicting the life of the Virgin, carved out of walnut wood, dating from 1515 to 1520, and originally in the convent of San Francisco in Valladolid. Campo Grande is a large triangular public park at the heart of Valladolid. Its origin as a park is said to date back to 1787. Interesting to note what looks like ancient stones in the wall around the lake and the park with this water fountain. Here is another water fountain at the lake and one of the peacocks that the park is known for having on the grounds. This is an aerial view of the Plaza Mayor in Valladolid with a view of the ornate city hall in the background. This is an historic picture of the same Plaza Mayor with its huge buildings compared to the size of the people in the streets, and not a lot of people here at the time the picture was taken. Next on the alignment is Segovia. The most famous symbol of Segovia is an elevated aqueduct that goes through the center of town and is depicted on the city's coat of arms. Here's an 1824 drawing of the Segovia Aqueduct by Edward Hawke Locker. Again, note the size of the infrastructure contrasted with the size of the people depicted here and the rudimentary transportation of the horse and buggy. For comparison of style, this is the Chalpa Aqueduct in Tepoztlan, Mexico. Quite similar in construction style, but as far as I know, the Romans were not in Mexico. The Segovia Cathedral is said to have been one of the last Gothic cathedrals to have been built in Europe, with a construction date beginning in 1525. The Alcazar of Segovia is the model for Disney's Cinderella's Castle and rises out of what is described as a rocky crag, which is the same thing said about Edinburgh Castle in Scotland, that it is situated on top of a crag and tail formation. The Alcazar Castle is located above the confluence of two rivers near the Sierra de Guadarrama, between Segovia and Madrid, and the eastern range of the central system of Spain. Here's a picture of the Sierra de Guadarrama, with what looks like a balanced rock in the foreground. Compared with a picture taken of the Granite Dells in Prescott, Arizona, that also has a balanced rock in it. In the world of geology, that would be called a glacial erratic. I'm not buying what they are selling. Balanced rocks are found everywhere. What is called a glacial erratic, the product of retreating glacial ice sheets from the last ice age, like Tripod Rock at the Pyramid Mountain in Kinnelon, New Jersey, is called a dolmen everywhere else, like Browns Hill Dolmen in Ireland. I'm going to end this video here and pick up the alignment in Madrid, Spain in the next video.